We're in this unique position to triangulate conversations between participants that have no reason to not be communicating, but that haven't been triangulated through the power of digital technology the way that we can provide them ever before. So if you look at just even organizations that you would think are completely similar in nature, like cities across the United States, you would think, oh, cities are pretty alike, they must be sharing all this information, they must be communicating a lot, and yes, cities send their mayors and their representatives to conferences around the world, around the country, so they can learn best practices from one another, so they can share ideas. But they've never really had the ability to actually connect at the level of data, raw data. When you start to look at the underlying data sets relative to crime and education and healthcare and transportation across cities like San Francisco, Chicago, New York, even smaller cities like Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, or Lexington, Kentucky, you start to discover some really interesting things that you could call a pattern, you could call overlap, you could call cross-pollination opportunities. And these are things that just never existed, that we're being able to see because of our position in working with all these organizations. And not just working with the organizations, but working with the data that these organizations are providing. We're able to see into these opportunities very interesting ways to triangulate these organizations. That's really the genesis of our Open Data Network and our Open Data Network vision, which is that every government organization at some point should be sharing data in this network and being able to access and use this data for whatever purpose is important to that particular organization. And it's a classic whole being greater than the sum of the parts type concept, and a networking effect type concept. We have no doubt that the gravitational pull of vast amounts of data coming from organizations, coming from streams all over the world, when unionized into a common framework with applications and experiences on the outer ends, will have some pretty interesting implications.